In this video, we are going to create tables with HTML and style them using CSS. Now, before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you do not miss any upload, and leave a like on this video if it helps you out. Now, all we need is our HTML document and the CSS file, and we are ready to go. Now, tables are elements in HTML that allows us to group information into rows and columns. So now let's see an example to explain it further. Now, I will use this example of grouping the names, the ages, and the scores of some students to explain this further. So in the body of the HTML document, first create a table element, and inside it will add a caption. So with the caption element, we add a caption of student score table. Next, we'll have the first section of the table, which will be the T head. And this will group the elements inside the table header. Now we'll have the TR element, which will be for the table row, and this will be the first row of our table. So in the table row, since this is a header, we use the TH element, which is for the table header, and we have the first text inside the table header to be name, and this will be the header for the name of the student. The second table header should be for the age of the student, and the third should be for the score. This will be the first row, and we are done with the T head element. Next, we have the T body, which will denote the body of the table, which will contain the information inside the table. So we'll have another row with the TR element, and inside it we have TD element standing for table data. And the first data in this row should be the name of the first student, let's say Alice. Then we have another TD element with the age. Let's say Alice is 20 years and had a score of 95. So this is it for the first row. Now let's move to the second row, which will be for the second student. So the first data inside this row should be the name of the second student, let's say Bob. And Bob is 21 years old and had a score of 88. Then we move on to the third student. And the name of the student is Diana, for example. And Diana is 22 years old and had a score of 85. Then the last student, let's say Charlie. And Charlie is 19 years old and had a score of 90. So that's the markup we need. This is how to create a table using HTML. So we need a TD element for the table data, the TH element for the table header, and TR element for table rows. Then we can group them into T head, which would be for the table head, and T body for the table's body. Then we can have a caption also for the title of the table, and a table element as the root element of the table. So that's all for the markup. Now we can start the table using CSS. So first style all elements with a global element selector, and then remove the default margin, the default padding also, and set the box sizing to border box. Next, we style the body. So we give the body a font family of Arial and a fallback font of sans serif. Then we can change the background of the body to a gray background. Now let's centrally place the table by setting the minimum height of the body to 100 VH, setting the display to flex, justify content, center, and the align items to center also. This is what we have. And we can start the table element itself. So with the table element, we can add a box shadow to it. And specify the width of the table to 80%. That will be 80% of the total width of the viewport we have over here. This will make it somewhat responsive. Next, we can change the background of the table itself to white. Next, we start the caption element. So with the caption element name, we can increase the font size to 2.5 EM. Then we give it a margin bottom of 20 pixels to separate it from the table here. Next, we style the T head element. So everything inside this T head here. Change the background color to a bluish color. And the text color, will change it to white. Then we can increase the font size of the text inside the T head element to 1.5 EM to increase the font size. Next, we increase the font size of the element inside the table body. So with the T body name, the font size, we set it to 1.3 EM. This is what we have. Next, we have to add styles to the individual cells over here. So we target that with the table header and the table data element name. So with the TH and the TD element, you can target the individual cells. So we add a pattern of 20 pixels. Set the border to 2 pixels solid in a gray color. And you can set the text align property to center the text here. And now we can see that besides each cell, we have a double border. Now we can turn this double border into one by going into the table element and then set the border collapse property to collapse. And we have just one border, as we can see. Now we can change the background color of individual rows also. So let's change the background color of the second row inside the body, this second row for Bob and the fourth row. So the second and fourth rows are even rows. So in the table body, we target the table row and we use the nth child pseudo class and we target the even child, which is the second row and the fourth row. Now with this, we change the background color to a gray color, as you can see. And now when you hover over any row, we want to also change the background color. So with the T body, which is the table body, any table row, when you hover over it, change the background color also. And this is what we have. Now we can add a transition so we have a smooth transition with the change in background color. So we add a transition of 0.2 seconds. And this is what we have. So yeah, that's how to create tables using HTML and CSS. You have the table header and the table body. And then in the table header, we have a table row and a TH element for the individual cells. And inside the table body, we have table row elements for each row. And then inside the table rows, we have TD elements for the table data. So yeah, that's how to create tables with HTML and style them using CSS. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.